Yesterday, guys, we had a nice little break from Bitcoin. We just touched the 31,000, again, proving how critical this level is. And ultimately, what we're starting to see is that there's a possibility of either offloading happening at this area or eating off the wall. Now, we've seen this many times before when it came to the $25,000 level with Bitcoin. And now what we're doing is we're tracking the very critical area that we know we are at on the weekly. We know the weekly stochastic RSI is reset. And we know that last week we ended up having a huge bullish engulfing candle on the weekly, which should continue within this week. So what you can see right now is yesterday we ended up having the break of trend. We went slightly low of a lower high, therefore coming down and testing as support. And now we are at a bounce zone where we want the market to bounce. Now in the show, we're going to speak about the two major levels. The bounce level from here, where are we at right now? What do we want to see next if we do bounce? And when could we possibly see the squeeze up to the $35,000 level? That ultimately is the next target. Or is there a little bit of a bigger pullback? Do we still need a little bit of a medium time frame cool off within the bulls? And are we maybe going to go test out a breakout level? Now I want to show you over here. First, you can see we are testing the trend line perfectly. Secondly, what we want to see is we could start to see the amount of tests that we are getting right now on this top wall, and Bitcoin's in a wedge. And ultimately, this is the wedge that's going to give us a direction of where the move's going to move next. So what we're starting to see is we've seen 4 touches of Bitcoin at this major level. We know above this we have 35,000. And then we have the very critical support. And again, guys, I had 1 or 2 tiny stoppages yesterday, and therefore I'm able to get my entries in lower. So I want to speak about the next short-term trades that I'm taking. But now we're at support. Not only do we have the 4-hour RSI now hitting the bottom, we have the 8-hour RSI hitting the bottom, the 12 hours nearly at the bottom, and we have the weekly at the bottom. The only one that we still have at the top is the daily stochastic RSI. And that's what we want to know. Is the daily stochastic RSI going to reset? Are we going to have another 2-3 days of possible slow downside and then another huge ass candle to the upside? And that's the thing. The only thing that I'm seeing is we've had 8 weeks to the downside. And therefore, I think the bulls are going to still come back really, really, really strong. The only thing that we're noticing now is altcoins are really hard to trade at the moment. Well, not hard to trade. They're just a little bit all over the place because of that dominance at that 52% level. And it just shows again at the critical level that we're at. Now, remember, guys, it takes a lot of volume when you're at a crazy resistance, to get through that. Once you're through that, you start to bring in things as in retail, as in FOMO, and things start to flow a lot easier. So what you always want to remember in crypto is you want to always use these sideways sort of phases to make sure that you are focused and you're building your positions. Very similar to what we saw before this huge pump. You see the sideways. The sideways is the preparation, and you catch it early. Therefore, after that, it makes it a lot easier for you to control your trades and put you ahead of the rest. A lot of people come late, and therefore, people that weren't watching the shows last week or 2 weeks ago, ultimately are coming in once you've seen this huge bullishness. And that's why I want to keep you guys controlled. Secondly, I'm going to be speaking about a very crazy altcoin that I don't speak about much, but we think there's a mega XRP pump incoming. We're seeing a few signals when it comes to the Bitcoin pairing and the USDT. It was one of the alts that did not move on this current pump. And we think that there's something big happening with XRP. Maybe it's news driven. We'll see. There's a few things coming out at the moment, but the chart is showing something big within XRP. And then we're going to go through a few of the altcoin setups for what we spoke about yesterday and what we're looking at if the market breaks up. What are we going to be doing? And the last thing over here, guys, we're seeing some bullish divergence happening with Bitcoin. We hold the support right now. Yet again, we can see another strong bounce, and hopefully we can finally break through that wall. Let's get pumped. Let's get happy. It's a good week, a good time. No more wasting time. Let's get into the show.
Click. Have you heard the news? What? With his finger on the pulse, it's like Sheldon knew. Click. When the sniper shoots, we got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper. Sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper. He marks the charge right. Enter the sniper. He's calling the cycles. So enter the sniper. Click. Time to be dedicated. Sniper mode is activated. Explosions in the market are in target, and Sheldon demonstrates. Mirror on the wall. Master Sheldon tell us all. We got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper. Sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper. He marks the charge right. Enter the sniper. He's calling the cycles. Enter the sniper. Click. Enter the sniper.
Crypto Banter fam, hope you're having a fantastic day out there. Smash a like, smash the subscribe button. We are here every day bringing the action and bringing the energy. I'm here to keep you guys strong. I'm here to keep you guys motivated and know what you are fighting for. We are fighting when 95% of the market is no longer here. The tourists are no longer here. And ultimately, those who survive bear markets thrive in the bull markets. And I'm proud of every single one of you for fighting throughout this whole journey. And I'm just here to make sure that you're getting up in the morning and end of the day, because you guys want to see me every day. You get me out of bed in the morning, and together we're doing something phenomenal. Now, the first thing, guys, I have Sniper School Cohort 7 coming up now in the next 2-3 weeks. To book your spots are running out. You go below, you click the registration button. It will send you an email. You need to open an exchange account. We have CoinW for the US. I don't want to hear anyone saying in the US that we can't do school. You have CoinW, no KYC, and you don't need a VPN, and you can trade derivatives. We have Bybit, we have BitGet, we have OKX, and we have Maxi. Open any of those Sniper School accounts, deposit $100 that you get to use. Just verify it. You'll see it's a very simple thing to verify, and you will get a sponsorship and get Sniper School for free. I think we're already halfway full, so make sure you are in for that. If you do Sniper School, you get a course. You get a daily live trading session with these guys. You see these guys, my team, the one that's been here forever, be part of it. These guys are here putting all the effort in. Here's Jay as well. We got all the team and all the guys that are here giving you alpha every single day. We have David that won the Bybit competition. You get all of that, guys. Prep yourself, get the tools, and join us on this journey. The bull market starts now. Be ready for it and make sure that you have your toolbox there. And again, what do you want out of crypto? Very important. If you missed yesterday's show, go skip the beginning because that was about trading for the day, but probably jump on around 25 minutes from yesterday's show and go watch what I spoke about the portfolio. Guys, it's one of the biggest lessons you're going to learn in crypto is knowing how long to hold tokens, the percentage of your portfolio that you need to use for those tokens, and ultimately what currency are you building throughout this whole bull market. So go watch that. We have Banter Bubbles. Download on the App Store. Get into Banter Bubbles. Cool. Let's go. Okay, guys, bull flag on Bitcoin at the moment. Nice push. We cannot say right now that Bitcoin's not looking bullish. It is looking really good. It is just fighting a very critical resistance. So what we're starting to see is we started to see a huge ass push to the upside. Now we're going sideways. What we see with sideways is preparation phases. You know, you're always going to have a big move. You're going to have sideways, and then you're going to have a direction. And I think the big question we're looking at now is, are we going to go for the break? Are we going 35,000? Is it going to happen now? Or is all the doubters, all of those that are saying the top, this is the top again, short, are they going to maybe get it right? Maybe right. Maybe there is a little pullback here first to come test the previous breakout. I think if this happens over here, it's going to get the whole world to go super bearish again. And still, I see a retest of here and an explosion, but we'll speak about that in a sec. But secondly, for all of those who are bearish and don't believe the pump yet again, could get caught out very quickly over here and ultimately be forced buying back a lot higher than where we are now. So what we're paying attention to at the moment is we know on the weekly, it looks phenomenal. We've had a huge break when it comes to the weekly. Let's actually get a weekly chart up over here and quickly speak about the weekly yet again. Huge engulfing for the week. We're now fighting major resistance. And once we get through the critical areas of the previous high, which is the $31,400 level, you got a squeeze that can get us up to $35,000 to $37,000. That's the current big resistance we're fighting at the moment. Like I said, quick question, is there a small pullback first of a retest, or are we breaking through at the moment? So I want to jump back over here now. And I want to say, now we zoom in. Now we track it. So what I am seeing over here is we saw the RSI reset higher time frame. Now I'm zooming in slightly to see where are we on the midterm frame, just to see, you know, should we maybe have a little bit of limit orders a little bit earlier down in case so we can catch that next big entry, or is it not going to happen? And I think that's the big thing to focus on. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at the RSIs, and I can see right now that we had a nice push yesterday of up to 31,000, and now we're retesting. And what we want to see is we want to see a higher low. We want to see a higher low, and we want to remain in this frame over here, especially with the support line over here. So now I'm looking at the RSIs, and I see, okay, so the 4-hour was tapped down a little bit, and then had a little push up yesterday, and now coming back. But ultimately, it is coming back to the oversold territory. So that's good, okay? Now, what you want to see is whenever you see the coin or the RSI come down to the bottom, you want to see what is price action doing. And ultimately, if we can come back down to the bottom, oversold again, and we still have a higher low and still holding support, it's a time yet again to buy, put stop losses below, because at any moment, the market still remains bullish. Now, the next thing we want to focus on over here is we want to bring out the normal relative strength index. Now, guys, I use the normal RSI for one thing, and it's for divergences. Okay, I don't really use it for overbought and oversold, but I do use it to see when there's something happening. You know, they're saying the normal relative strength index RSI is something that's what did they say? It looks into the future. It's one of the first leading indicators more than a lagging indicator. A lot of indicators, as in moving averages, it's all being calculated of stuff that's happened in the past. And what they say here with this is it's a leading indicator, possibly giving you a little bit of an intel of a different story being told. So the way you want to look at it is, let's get rid of this one for a second, is you want to basically take your price action and you want to see what's happening over here. And you can see clearly here on the RSI that if you take this low over here and you look at the RSI and you take the next low and you look on the RSI, I'm seeing a downwards trend over here within the RSI. Okay. And then I look on the charts and I'm seeing the opposite. So what you want to see when it comes to this, you guys will learn, remember, sniper school, it is there. It is there if you don't know what's happening. We have the RSIs. We have all the stuff that you need to know and understand. So remember, sniper school, sniper school, sniper school. It's the best thing for you to be a part of. But when something is showing difference and opposite, it's usually giving you a hint. And right now, we're starting to see bullish divergence. So again, you have the stochastic RSI being reset. We're still holding support on price right now. And you have a RSI that's showing possible bullish divergence by having a lower low on RSI and higher high over here, basically indicating that you do have a current small short-term pullback, but ultimately the bulls are still holding stronger ground because you have an RSI coming down, yet you have higher lows on the actual chart. So you'll start to play. And remember, guys, these indicators and all of these things that you focus on the charts, they work on all time frames. And the higher the time frame that you can get the indication or the bullish indicators or anything like that, the better. So ultimately, 4 hour, we're getting that indication. But if you do see something like this on the weekly, on the daily, and I'm going to show you now, let's actually show you right now while we're in on it. Let's go to XRP for a second before I come back over here, because I want to speak about XRP and I want to see, firstly, it didn't pump. It didn't really do much at all. But look here. So if I take the normal RSI, let me just scrunch it up. There we go. So what you can see with the RSI is it very much followed, the pattern of what the coin was doing. But now what you can start to see over here is if I take a horizontal line and I put it over there, you could see very much that at the moment, we're actually making a lower low when it comes to RSI. This is on the daily, guys. This is why you always want to pay attention. Shorter time frame as a trader, we know where Bitcoin is on the higher time frames. So we're zooming in, and any small good bullish divergences there, we know it's at a great phase because we know 35,000 is right around the corner. Okay, but what you want to really see is you want to see higher time frame bullish divergences. So what we have right now is we didn't have an XRP run. We've actually only had XRP going down. Since we've had a whole market bounce, XRP has been going down. And when Bitcoin was going down previously, XRP was holding strong. So what you have right now is you have XRP running opposite within the market. Okay, but what we're seeing over here is you can see on the daily, as things stand right now, we do have a lower low when it comes to the RSI. And what we have on the chart at the moment is we do have a higher low as things stand. Now, this is very important for us to hold this low. And by the way, this is XRP to Bitcoin. Okay, so you can see this is a breakout of a trend, retesting right now. And if we get a higher low over here, and this bullish divergence plays out, there's going to be a really strong bounce that happens within XRP. Now, I want to show you the next thing over here is if I go and I put the trend lines, right? I put the trend lines, slight break there. We'll see if the bullish divergence erases that. You get these fake outs. When we break a trend and all of a sudden pass back into trend. Bullish divergence, bearish divergence. This is why you want that little hint over there because it gives you an indication of when something's real versus when it's fake. But what I want to show you over here is you can actually see on the chart that we have this huge range that XRP is in. And the same thing from here. If the bullish divergence plays out and we end up having a bounce, you're looking at this big range of this making its way all the way back to these areas. Now, not only do we have the bullish divergence that's playing out at the moment, well, could definitely play out, possibly. In order to keep that, we have to remain this higher low over here. We also have the stochastic RSI, which I did remove by mistake. We have this completely flat out on the daily at the moment when it comes to Bitcoin. Okay, so what it's showing right now is if we have, as things stand with that flag, we have a Bitcoin breakout of 31,000. It is showing that there's going to be an XRP breakout possibly to Bitcoin. Okay. And therefore, if you end up having a 10-20% breakout within Bitcoin to the upside, XRP is looking incredibly strong, to make the bounce. Now, the next thing is I want to now imprint that and go look at it on the USDT chart. Look at this. Now, what we have over here is you could see that we have the daily stocks hitting the bottom. So let's get in over here. Daily stocks are heading down to the bottom over here. We are on support trend right now. And what we have is this flag. Now, guys, there's not much time left with this flag. So as you can see at the moment, you are getting the flag. But what it's basically indicating is a short-term bounce is incoming within to the USDT pairing. And then at some point, we're going to crack a major resistance. Okay. Now, remember, why are you never afraid to enter a position over here? Is because you'll get the indication that if the pullback starts and we start closing here, start de-risking very close, okay? Because it means, boom, we're going down to these way lower levels. So you're never afraid. Remember, you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's the key to success. That's the key, is to understand when you are buying. And right now it's like, okay, XRP hasn't been doing much. Emotionally, the uncomfortability is there, but it's sitting right now on support as things stand. And if you zoom out over here and we look at that possible break of that Bitcoin over here, you can be looking at an outgrowth, okay, of up to 40% of Bitcoin. Up to 40%. Now, you guys know I'm not a massive XRP fan. I'm not. But when it comes to these charts and I see a coin doing the opposite right now, there's a lot happening. And I actually want to bring on Craig. Craig, you're available. Pop your thumbs up there. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. Let's bring Craig on here. What are you seeing? What are you hearing with XRP fundamentally?
So we obviously have never been the biggest fans of Ripple. Obviously, because we got destroyed in a trade about 2 years ago. And I think
XRP is like an ugly X that we're just not getting over.
However, there's definitely, the charts are showing something, and I ran through a bunch of news. So I was looking through what news was available. So I can show you a couple of them, which is kind of giving me the ammo to go, well, maybe it's actually time. I love that retracement. And should this news come out about the legal case and a bunch of other news, well, then maybe, maybe there is something. So can I share screen?
You can. Let me know once it's shared.
Just tell me when you can see it. Can you see it on the chart? Okay, so
there we go. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, this is from the 27th of June, which was yesterday. So Ripple empowers top Indian bank, for the digital rupee project. So like the CBDC, and they're looking at now using Ripple to do it. Ripple showing bullish signal amid trader capitulation, according to crypto analytics firm. Here was the last 3 instances. Ripple price jump was preceded by a spike in the number of active addresses. And on-chain data is actually showing that the spike is happening over the last few days. So that's one. Ripple obtains an in-principle approval for major payments institutional license in Singapore. So this is all over the last few days.
So it's like sort of like in the background, you got price going down, but you actually have a lot of little things coming up.
And haven't we seen that before? Haven't we seen that before with all the Bitcoin FUD and that? Here, Ripple wants to fly. Either someone knows something or they're trying to trap the bulls here. The news will definitely determine the direction soon enough. Then Canada's largest university starts Ripple Validator in the new partnership with Ripple. So that's another one. And then, this one isn't about Ripple. Guess it's about you, Sheldon. Chosen ones. Meet the man behind the reality scenes. Guys, go and look out this article.
I see, I've been in newspapers and like magazines and stuff lately.
There he is, in the press. There's Sheldino in the press. You never thought I was going to share that one, bud.
I didn't. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Okay, amazing. So guys, as you can see, chart wise, we can see possible news boiling. We have bullish divergence. We have a breakout and retest within the Bitcoin pairing. We have RSI's reset. Something, if you like XRP, I think you should pay attention here, because I do think something big could happen at any moment. And I do feel because it didn't pump, I think it can come literally out of nowhere at any moment. Okay, let's get back over here. So again, just simplify yourself for the day. As things stand, we should see a bounce right now in these areas. And we should see from here, Bitcoin make its way to the areas of, again, the $31,000 level. We break it strong. We do have to get through the area, and you got two plays. Either it's going to, from here, go through, break, retest, break through. Okay. Or we go and we go. Okay, so be ready for that. And that's why we're deciding to load up and get a few positions in this area with a stop loss below. Then you got the bearish scenario for the bears out there is we decide to lose the areas of 30,000. You can see 30,000 is very much a good support right now. There will be a retest and we will come down to the areas of where we broke out. And that would be a great area to be prepping yourself for the area. So the way I'll do it is I'll probably split any money that I want to buy into long terms or trading portfolios now into 50. I'd probably enter 50% of it now, 50 preparing for the worst scenario that comes to play out. And if we end up breaking to the upside, I'll end up getting the rest of my 50 in and entering my stop loss just below. So you just want to play it in both balls right now. If the market bounces and goes strong from here, you want to be in, but you also want to be conservative in case we do have the bigger pullback. And ultimately, you can always add in a little bit later. And the fact that you got your first position in here will average out your position that you buy over here and still put you in an average position within this wedge, which is a good thing. The next thing I want to show over here is I just want to quickly jump back. I haven't been speaking much about the stock markets that much lately. Looking pretty good. Short-term break at the moment. Let's see if we can get through this important trend line that we faked out. But so far, it doesn't look like we're really getting much impact when it comes to the stock markets at the moment, but it is looking pretty good. So that's obviously a big sign we want to just focus on. And then I want to quickly speak about USDT dominance. So remember, this is the tracking flow of money getting into USDT. You could obviously see that we hit a really strong lower low when it comes to the 8-hour chart over here. And what we're at now is resistance. So if you look, we had a short-term little bounce. And I want you to put this trend line in. Now, guys, this is such a nice chart that you're going to use a lot in the bull market. And it's not about understanding it fully. It's just about tracking that we want this thing to be going down. Okay, the more this goes down, it means money getting out of USDT and getting into the actual market. Bitcoin dominance going up, meaning a lot of it's going into Bitcoin. And obviously some altcoins, we're getting that popcorn effect. But ultimately, we want people to get out of USDT and into the market. And what you could see over here is we had a big flux to the downside, and now we are currently building a bear flag. So in order to keep this, to be like, is this going to be something that does this? Or is it something where we come down, we do the flag, and we break down? If we break down from here, guys, we want to see about how big would the next move be. And ultimately, what you could see over here is it will probably come down to these two major zones if we lose the downside. You have this zone over here, and ultimately you have this major zone over here. If we lose this major zone, then it gets really, really, really wild. But nonetheless, it's a pretty big move to the downside over here. And ultimately, this, especially down to this lower box, could be the power of getting Bitcoin to the $35,000 level. So what you want to do is you want to jump back over here to your 4-hour chart, and you just want to put this wedge. Right now, we're rejecting in the perfect spot. If we break out the top of this line, it means we're going to do the bigger pullback, where Bitcoin's going to go to 28. Okay? If we break the bottom line, there's no pullback. We are going for it. But very simple. You're looking at a chart that's not related to Bitcoin or anything. You're looking at the chart here that's going to just give you clarity that you literally have this wedge right now. Technically, it is a bearish flag at the moment. And ultimately, we break the bottom line. There's no pullback, or it breaks the top line and there is a pullback. And then you can prepare and you can trade the way you want to see things from there. With the rest of the market, I'm actually going to bring on 𝗏𝗏 now as it speaks. Let's quickly look at dominance is strong, and therefore I still sit in favor of Bitcoin breaking out to the upside, because this dominance, even though we had a small pullback in the markets, again, you can see some altcoins on 4 or 5% down for the day. So the dominance is still sitting strength with Bitcoin, strength with Bitcoin, strength with Bitcoin. And for me, whenever we've seen that, it's only been about a bullish Bitcoin for 2023 so far, whenever we've just had the strength within the dominance. So ultimately, if we do have the rejection, I do think, and we decide to go to 28, I think the dominance comes down. So I think the alts get hurt, but not as hurt. I think it'll be more Bitcoin that pulls back pretty strong. But as things stand now, it looks like it's ready to go. It looks like this thing wants to go. And therefore, for me, as long as we hold that support, I still remain short-term bullish. Another coin I want to speak about, which is entering buy zone, and I know Craig will be happy about this one, is Blockstacks. So we spoke about the Blockstacks pump. It broke out of this wedge. And now it is starting to come back straight into our 618 zone. So very clearly a higher high over here, really bullish, and it's starting to enter the zone now. If you want to build a spot position, I wouldn't build much leverage positions over here at the moment, but a spot position, I think this will rally with Bitcoin. We could see as soon as Bitcoin goes bullish, this rally is very strong, and it is built within and on Bitcoin. And ultimately, I don't know if it's the best project in the world that's been built on Bitcoin, but it's one of the big first ones. And ultimately, you're going to see that it will be a very high performer. So I don't think this is a long-term hold, but I think for the next push, especially if Bitcoin goes to 35 to 40K, I think it's going to be a big mover, and I think it can make you really good money. Let's actually bring 𝗏𝗏 on, and I'd love 𝗏𝗏 to... 𝗏𝗏, what's up?
What's up?
Just show those charts, bro.
XRP army have come to visit.
I gotta give them love like twice a year.
Look, I like your XRP chart. Well, same as you with Bitcoin, we had a nice bounce. Unfortunately, it pulled back a lot harder than expected yesterday. But if you just zoom out and you look at these altcoins relative to where BTC is, there's definitely no panic stations here. First example, AVAX. We saw AVAX pushing into this weekly resistance, which was old support. Then we had a little bit of FUD last night, TUSD. It's always interesting. The FUD always comes at resistance. Then we had this little pullback, and now we've pinged a really nice region here, this 382. And if we zoom in, we can see it's actually bouncing quite nicely. So, when you're sitting in these positions and maybe you're a little bit underwater, you always got to just zoom out a bit and look at your key levels. And try not to panic. Obviously.
Just while you're on that now, 𝗏𝗏, this is an important one. So, we get used to Fibonacci's when you take it from bottom to the top. We get used to this golden zone, which is that 618, right? 618, 786. And I'll show you guys on the chart now. When it's bull run, it's slightly different, guys. So you can see Dylan's focused on 382. So it's a more higher sort of fib level. But
it's
what it indicates is you got very strong momentum to one side, quick dips to the downside, and very strong. So the ones that he's showing right now, these are really, in a bull market, they're incredibly strong levels. And if you believe that now, especially if Bitcoin breaks that wedge to the upside, get used to this fib level over here. And you can see how we're starting to get the reaction. So if we don't hold the 382, then you look at levels of 618 and golden zone. That as it stands right now, there's nothing stopping the alts from bouncing with Bitcoin right now in these levels.
So and you'll see where BTC is now sitting on support. We're going to see these alts are sitting on support, and they're reacting so nicely. And I mean, a 382 is like quite a bullish fib, but it's still a big move. I mean, you can see this percent from the top there. Okay, 7.5% pullback from the top. It's quite substantial. Okay, here's Link. Same story. We were pushing this resistance, pushing it, couldn't hold it. FUD came, pullback, and we just front running this region here. So, I quite fancy Link a little bit lower if we can get a bounce. But maybe one more push down from BTC, a little wick down, and then we might grab Link here on this 382. ADA, same story. 382 bounce for ADA. Not great news around ADA lately. It's not like my favorite thing to trade, but it is in a region. So anyone who likes ADA, this is an area that will bounce with BTC. XRP, your chart, you've covered already. We had a little 618 bounce on that trend, so all's well there. AAVE pumped on the weekend, and look where it is now. It's come all the way back to retest this trend. So we're nearly in this zone that I like, the 618 here. So around 59.60 could be a nice sort of tight stop, quite a low risk sort of move. So see if you can grab AAVE there.
I think that's about how you get good in this market right now. It's just not chasing those pumps and having those pullback plays there. That's the buy now. You know, everyone wants to buy 2 days ago.
Panicking.
These are the buys.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
You just wait for these moves. When you're pushing resistance like this, AVAX for example, it's weekly resistance. It's like a hell of a fight. So you know the odds were that we were going to come back, and then now we've pinged our first area. So even the scalpers out there, they can just grab these little 382s or the 618s and just grab a little bounce if they want.
Exactly. And what you said now, weekly resistance. What this means, guys, is you're fighting a $12 to $13 resistance on AVAX. We get through this weekly resistance, there's a $20, $30 AVAX possible again. And that's why you're working hard in these areas. What I like about your charts, 𝗏𝗏, and I think it's a big one, is we've had this huge drop, right? We had the huge drop a few days back, week or two back. But then we started this little uprising, and we've been focusing on getting the breakouts. Guys, just put these trends in. So you see your 4 hour here. Any pullbacks now, we will hold trend. Amazing. We're strong. We have a strong Bitcoin. Therefore, these are the trend lines that you worry about. So any support buys here are good buys. And ultimately, why? Because you can put your stops just below. But as things stand right now, we are still very much on the shorter time frame in an uptrend. And just keep that focus. As much as everything a part of you wants to say something different, we are still very much in that uptrend. What else you got there, 𝗏𝗏? There we go.
Yeah,
Phantom, uptrend. Boom.
No panic stations, guys. You know, just like stay calm, watch your trends, watch your areas. Let me show you my injective chart.
Yeah, injective I still think is a big one.
Yeah, so injective is, you know, it's still on track for this $8 target. But what I just put together today now while we had this pullback is like, where do I panic? Where do I start looking for exit points? And you know, I've got this rising trend over here. I've got this major daily trend coming down here. I've got horizontal support, and I've got a 618. So you know, I'm not going to do anything on injective until I start losing this area. So you know, right now for me, like injective is still bullish all the way down to this trend and back up there. So, you know, something like that I'm watching as major support for me. Here's an interesting one, Atom. Just a standard 382 bounce. How's this? Off some horizontals.
Yeah, that 382 is a strong, that's a strong.
It's beautiful at the moment.
In a bull market, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're scalping, you just grab that little 382, you push it up to trend, you know, maybe you TP there, and then you see what happens here. If you get the break, then you can trade that break. Otherwise, we're sending it back down. And I mean, this is the next sort of area for Atom that I'm interested in, this 8.9 region there.
Okay, amazing, brother. Appreciate it.
Bro, I got so many charts, guys. I put them on the Banter under Sniper. Yeah, the Banter Discord. All these charts are there. They've been updated today. You'll see things like Gala as well. Key level. I like this area. So yeah, tied in with BTC, you guys are going to be okay. Just watch them together. BTC loses that trend, we start looking at our next out levels.
Breaks to the upside, we're not pulling back. Thank you, brother.
Sweet, man.
That's later, bro. Appreciate it. So guys, I just want to show you again quickly while we're on here. So my small short-term trade now is I'm just every support buys. A slight stoppage I add in, so I'm in Phantom again from lower than yesterday, which is good. I'm still laddering it at the moment, so only 50K at the moment. I'm waiting to see if we can break the top trend to be getting in. But what 𝗏𝗏 was speaking about over there is that bullish tool. So if you see your coins going up like this and it starts to pull back, the 382, take a Fibonacci from the top, from the bottom to the top, and put in over there. I just want to make sure my 382 is selected. There we go, 382s. So these can be really good tools to use. If we hold that RSIs at the bottom, break through to the top, it's a really strong bullish indicator to be using. Let's give today the markets just to decide. We're breaking the top or the bottom line, and then we'll bring tons more altcoins, tons more of them. The ones that I like right now is I've personally loaded up on a little bit more of Chainlink and Optimism. These are the two that I like, and a little bit of 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏 too. I'm waiting for 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. I want a little bit more near that I think maybe I can get it a little bit cheaper. But I'm just buying any strong retests at the moment. Remember, we're playing a game here where it can happen at any moment. I'm taking advantage of the specials. I'm buying on supports. I'm being smart. Some part of my portfolio is on stop losses. Let's remain strong, guys. So have a fantastic day. If it's boring today, get a little bit of a break. Save your energy, because tomorrow can pump. The market can pump tomorrow, and you need to be there strong. Have a fantastic day. Keep the mental health strong, and let's never quit, guys. Much love, and I'll see you all tomorrow.